All right. Well, let's do this. Hello, and welcome to the Magic We Have at Home podcast. I am your host and still reigning champion, Bjorn. I get to host again because we have not yet recorded a gameplay episode since my last victory, and feels good. Feels good to be here. I'm joined by a couple of my good friends. Gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves?
I will start. Hello. Uh, my name's Bear. I guess that's it.
Oh, hi. I'm Ren. Uh, it's it's one thing for Bjorn to say he's the reigning champion because we haven't played since then, but I would like to introduce the thing that he's the one who schedules the gameplays. So we may just never be playtesting decks again, just so he can keep up his morale.
That does sound
Every
accurate.
episode's just going to start with, and still champion.
I'm not surprised.
right.
And then do you?
Today we actually are joined by another one of our buddies. So this is our friend Declan. Declan, would you like to introduce yourself at all? Who are you? What do you do? What's your name and address?
My social security number. No, yeah, my name is Declan, and super stoked to be on here. Been a longtime fan since day one, and yeah, really excited to be a part of it today.
Long time, first time. I like it.
I love it.
Well, we are glad to have you here. Shall we get this bad boy started? I think we are going to start with you, Ren. Tell us what you've brought to the table this week, or what you're hoping to bring to
Well,
the table this week.
I'm going to bring to the table that somebody's going to flip. Probably one of the best Selesnya decks possible. Yasharn ETBs. So I had heard Declan was going to play Corvold, and I was excited to play Yasharn because he doesn't let people sacrifice non-lands or to cast spells or activate abilities. So I just kind of wanted to ruin his game, but that didn't really work out. So I'm still playing Yasharn just because I already had the deck idea. So I'm just going to play with a lot of like creature ETBs, creature destruction, and stuff like that. A bit of flicker.
Now, are you going to? I'm just kind of looking at your deck list. Right now, you have one card in the blink category. So I'm curious: are you really wanting to play into ETB and creating a lot of engines with that, or are you just kind of wanting to go just general creature mid range right now with a little bit of blink if you can?
Yeah, it's more general creature mid range just because that's more fun. I've got the Far Traveler legendary background enchantment just because it's so good.
Would you explain what it does?
Commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step exile up to one target tapped creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its control is owner's control. So basically, I can swing out with a big beater, with a good ETB, and then once he's done swinging, he can have his ETB proc again and come in untapped. So kind of a good ability, I'd say.
So with a legendary background enchantment like that, can you have that in or next to your command zone or no? Because I know, well, I just don't know how backgrounds work. I know certain D&D heroes or whatever from the Magic set, they have something that says like you can have a background or whatever. How does that work then?
you have to have a creature that says you can have a background. It's similar to partner.
Okay. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it plays as a card, right?
Yep, it's just a good
Or the
enchantment.
In the 99. Gotcha. Okay.
Do any of you gentlemen have suggestions or questions you would like to really open up with?
Well, right out the gate, I just want to say Old One Eye needs to go. Also, kneel before my legions seems to be illegal in this format, my friend. What is that card about?
I saw it when I was trying to figure out how to spell Lenore, uh, Autumn Sovereign, and I saw it and I was like, man, that doesn't even show up all the way on Archidekt. What does that say? So I immediately clicked on it, and I still don't know what it does. I just deleted it once I saw it was illegal. So it's not on my end; it's on your end.
Okay. When you set this, what's a scheme? I've never heard of scheme cards. Is that like a whole new thing?
I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess that was my first question and my
I
only
think
one.
I think Scheme is actually really old. I think it might be older than all of us. I notice you have a category called Infect. Would you like to
Yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah, it's a Tyrannix Rex. It's a 7-cost 8/8 Phyrexian dinosaur that just looks awesome. He's Trample, Ward 4, and Haste, and Toxic 4, and he cannot be countered. I just really like the card. I think he's a cool guy.
I just really like it. I wonder why.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Look at him. He's like a mix between a centipede and like a horror monster, and then he's just taken on the shape of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So
It is
like I
actually
could add
really,
more
really
in
cool.
fact. Like I don't mind. I can play Finn the Fangbearer next week.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Don't mind.
genuine kind of critique. Just looking at your finisher category, and this is just me personally, I guess. If I'm running a mid-range deck, I actually don't love to just run a big finisher, like especially a creature as a finisher. I will grant that one of your finishers is just Pay and Glacial Worm. I don't. That card's funny. I'm not really. I'm more talking about the other three, which are Moonshaker Cavalry, Jumbo Cactuar, and Galta Stampede Tyrant.
Yes.
Which, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was a $30
It
card.
is. Holy
Anyway,
cow.
my general feeling is that with finishers like that, if I'm already running like a mid-range deck, for me, I think it's more fun to like, I mean, not necessarily like go super wide, but take creatures that are in like the mid power deck and then somehow make them stronger rather than like just slam down a single card that wins me the game. Like I think it's more fun to like win over a couple turns and like I'm gonna swing for 12 damage very consistently, and like slowly ramp that up rather than like I'm gonna build an okay board and then slam a Moonshaker Cavalry or play Jumbo Cactuar and swing for a million or play Galta and just like I mean Galta kind of just throws out your hand, but like I don't know I for me I don't actually love to play a lot of finishers in my mid-range decks. I kind of just like to let my creatures deal the consistent damage over time. Curious what your thoughts are on that.
My expectation with Galta is to slam down a Galta and then play 5 mana dorks. So
I love it.
I think we have very different expectations for this deck.
I did notice you have a plethora of one-cost mana dorks here. This is impressive.
I've got 9
Nine of
ramp
them.
creatures, so we're in medium shape, I would say.
Medium shape.
Yeah, medium shape. I like having finishers. Jumbo Cactuar needs to get through, so I need to figure out how to make sure that he actually gets through without getting removed. Galta is like Galta is a flickerable thing because it's whenever he enters the battlefield.
Oh, I see. And
So it could be like
same
a
with Moonshaker
repeat kind of
Cavalry.
thing. Yeah.
I see. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I need to have like a proper way to end the game. Old One Eye is great, but I doubt Old One Eye is going to win me the game.
Totally fair. I did notice you included a card called Armageddon in here, which I'm very familiar with after playing with you for the last few years.
I think Ren's salty because I've killed more lands than him.
I feel like that might be the case. I guess let me just
Didn't I blow up all lands in our last game?
yes. Let me
No.
let me pull the
Wait,
room.
did you?
Oh yeah, he did.
Cataclysm.
Yeah, it was brutal. Let me pull the room here real quick. How do we, as a whole, and Declan, you can join us on this. How do we feel about full-on land destruction, just as our main trope here?
I have to just say, as the person who got Ren to actually play Magic about 4 years ago, I did not realize the monster that I was creating.
Oh, yeah.
I am ashamed and embarrassed to see Armageddon so consistently in his decks. And the worst part about it is right now, I can't see him face to face, but he's smiling like a fiend right now.
It probably
because
is.
of it.
Yes.
It's really funny because you haven't heard it. We haven't posted this episode yet. It's our episode that'll be coming out next week. But he actually talked about how when he got into Magic, how he just got pub stomped by the guy who taught him, and he didn't say that it was you.
That's true.
But he was
Oh,
like,
No,
"Yeah,
it
I
wasn't.
I got stomped."
It was
Oh,
not.
it wasn't.
That wasn't
No, it was-
me that pub
That was our
stomped him.
local Simic player.
Yeah.
Oh,
He pub
Okay.
stomped everyone. And so that led Ren to go buy Edgar Markov and then proceed to just
I didn't
pub
even
stomp
know.
him.
I didn't even know Edgar Markov was good back then either. I just liked the
Yeah.
vampire that was like getting all of his armor equipped for him. I thought it was
Um,
cool.
Okay, but actually on the Armageddon thing, I think land destruction. I kind of think it's funny. I like it's a shtick at this point. I'm keeping a running tally right now. As far as our last post, we're at 20. It'll probably be a lot higher by the time this video actually comes out.
Mm.
My thing with it in general, though, is that like for mass land destruction, you have to have a way to break parity with it. Like if you're just going to destroy all lands and then the game's just going to go another hour, I think that's really lame.
Yeah.
I really like it when you have an alternate way to produce mana, or a way to just dump out a ton of lands or recur them. I think it's a really cool or a really underutilized thing. I think that lands are just considered way too untouchable,
Mm.
and I think that's because it's easily abused. Like you can't just put in an Armageddon and kill everyone's
Yeah.
lands and ruin the game. But I think if you have a way to break parity with it, run it. I mean, you have you have some stuff for it. I think you have some mana dorks. I don't know that 9 mana dorks is enough to break parity with it. But
I'm more expecting Galta to do that kind of heavy lifting for me. Like I don't. We both know I am a very irresponsible Armageddon player. I don't blow up lands at
Very.
5 mana just so we start over.
hmm,
I only ever do it when I think that there's an inherent value that I will have over you guys, and if I think I can win off that value, I'm gonna do it. But other than that,
Wonderful.
like I've played many a game where I just hold an Armageddon just because it doesn't help me that much.
yeah,
I would say that the inclusion in this deck actually really works because 7 sorceries for ramp, cultivate, explore, farseek, Cosmos reach, nature's lore, rampant growth, mixed with 9 mana dork creatures. Or I guess 8 because Lotus Cobra is one of them. So 8 mana dork creatures. I think that totally fits within because you can go search immediately after you cast Armageddon and just you're back up to lands. Like parity is definitely broken. You don't necessarily need to protect all your lands, but you have enough here.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to have enough mana to actually cast those. Like you're still going to be having to wait until you top deck, 3 lands to actually cast your Kodama's Reach, and then you're still just playing at 4 lands.
Well,
Well,
no, if you have
Yeah.
your mana dorks out, if you
yeah.
have 3 mana dorks out, then you automatically get to play your Farseek, you get to play your Explore, your Cultivate.
I don't
So
know. I don't love it. I don't love it just because I feel like Armageddon. I do trust that you're going to play it responsibly. It's not that. I more just think it's going to end up just being a really dead card.
I doubt it. I will normally cast Armageddon once I have like 9 mana, if I'm going to cast it, just because that's when people start like activating their stronger abilities and like they start getting like more greedy with their spell play. So if like people are tapped out with 9 mana and I've got 9 mana up and an Armageddon in my hand, I can tap all 9 of my mana. And if I've got like a Cultivate or a Kodama's Reach in my hand, I can cast Armageddon and then I can just start rebuilding immediately.
Mm. I agree. I like it.
Yeah, but I mean, like the point of this is to make a deck that you like to play and that you want to build. So
Yeah.
if you want to do it, go for it. I wouldn't do it for me personally.
Yeah.
I do think if you're running an ETB based deck, your removal suite can be enormous. There's so many creatures that enter and exile a creature. Um, like Cemetery Protector. One of my personal favorites is Palace Jailer. It enters, exiles a creature, and then it makes you the monarch, so you get a card off of it. Bjorn here in the editing booth. Ren had to leave really quick here. He had something come up, and so there's just a brief pause, and then we come right back to it, but that's why there's this super awkward transition. Thanks for listening. Yeah, so what I was saying is just that ETB removal, like Palace Jailer, enters, you become the monarch, you draw a card, and then the creature is exiled not until Palace Jailer leaves, but until another player becomes the monarch, which is fine. It might get somebody to swing at you, but it gets the monarch in play, which is a great mechanic anyway. But personally, my favorite thing to do with those ones that just any sort of card that enters and exiles something until it leaves the graveyard is you hit people's commanders with that. And what I've noticed is that most people will just send their commander back to the command zone. Actually, Red, you saw that. We were playing in person with another friend of ours or a couple other friends of ours last week, and I did that to them. And I specifically targeted this person because I was like, they're not like, I know that they're going to be too impatient and they're going to put their commander in their command zone. And people will do that a lot. And then it's just, then they aren't gunning for you to try to kill your creature. They aren't gunning for your monarch. And then you can blink your guy and you don't have them getting anything back. So I really like the ETB based removal in a blink deck. I think it's very good and just fun and on theme.
Very nice.
The other thing too is cards like oh, why can't I think of the name? I can see what the art looks like. It's like a ghost ship type thing. But blink based protection. So there's a lot of cards that when they enter, it'll just like exile all of your creatures.
Angel of I know what you're talking about.
There's an
It's
angel
the-
that does it.
Yeah, it's
There's actually a lot of
a
creatures
glorious
that do it.
protector.
Well, there's Glorious Protector. There's why can't I not think of the name? I can see the art so vividly in my head. But there's an instant that does the same thing. But yeah, you can just enter,
Semester's
exile all
End.
your stuff. No, I don't know. I'll think of it eventually, and I'll just edit it in
Teferi's
here.
protection.
It is not Teferi's Protection,
Can we put that
but
in
those
here?
ones are good too because then it turns a board wipe into like it turns it into a
Oh, yeah,
one-sided
my-
board wipe, and you re-hit all your ETBs.
If only I had that much money left in my $200 budget here.
Yeah, speaking of budget, do we want to address that before we go into either Declan or your deck, my friend?
Ren's at 183.
Oh, he's at 192 now. He's going up. Slowly climbing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I mean, the whole point of the budget thing was just like that was what all of us felt comfortable spending on a deck. And like the goal is that we want to build a deck that like the goal is to build a deck that we might actually play in person.
Oh, you
that
meant
we
like
might
in
actually buy
real
the cards
life?
for.
Oh, I'm not spending $200 on a deck. No offense.
What?
I don't have that kind. Dude,
Oh.
what do you think? I'm made of dough here? Holy cow.
Mr. Salaried
Yeah,
worker.
Declan, what do you think about? Are you paying $200 for a deck here?
Probably not. I think my most expensive deck in
Paper.
which this video is sponsored by Archidekt. No, it's not sponsored by that. That'd be cool.
That would
I
be
think my
cool.
most expensive one is it's definitely my Xander deck. Okay, I have a $328 deck.
Oh,
See, that's the thing. A lot of times, like you don't buy a deck for $200, but usually you buy it and then upgrade it, and that's tends to be where most of mine sit. And actually, a lot of them are over that.
wow.
I've got like a Turgrid though, an Ancient Silver Dragon in that. Whoa, okay, I didn't realize how much that one was. But I've got a couple in here that are
Sure, but also
over time. I've built a deck like that, but I've never gone out
and in
straight
reality, if you're
wanted that
say
that
you're
much.
buying a precon or you're buying decks and you're acquiring these cards and you're breaking them apart, you never paid that full price for that deck anyway. Like I have a Shorikai deck that's probably worth $190, but I paid $35 for the precon and then maybe another $30 for the cards I've put in it and like slowly put other things, and sure it's worth that much, but most of that value just came from the resale value of the cards. So I don't know if I necessarily personally will be spending $200 cash to build one of these in paper. I'd be more comfortable spending less and buying, I don't know, packs or things, but buying singles that I want periodically. But I don't know. I'm down to keep it just around 200 for the fairness level, though, if that sounds fair.
Yeah. Also, I found the card. It's Cosmic Intervention.
Ooh.
If a permanent you control will be put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile it instead, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. 3 and a white
I like that.
for an instant, or you can foretell it. So you pay 2 and then you can cast it for 1 and a white. So pretty sweet card.
That is cool.
Very big fan of it. Ren, any closing remarks or questions or anything before we move on?
I'm better than you. I will win. And Armageddon is the proper way to play Magic.
Okay.
Oh, you might look at Felidar Guardian to go off of Bjorn's point of flickering your own stuff. That's a card you could put in.
Yeah.
There are a couple others. Leonin Relic Warder is one that you might flicker for artifact or enchantment. I don't know if you have many of those.
No.
Honestly, Flicker's just like you can go as hard in the Flicker as you want. Like there's so much stuff you can set up infinite combos with it. It's not hard. It's just kind of like sky's the limit. It's just kind of how hard do you want to go into it.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh.
Can I go next? I really am excited. I have thoughts. I know I said I wanted to go last, but
Let's do it.
Okay.
Tell us what you're running this week.
So this
Bear.
week I'm building a deck around Cirdan the Shipwright. He's a card from the Lord of the Rings set back in the day, and he's got it's 3, a green and a blue, which is Simic, right?
It is Simic.
Yes, I'm learning. 3 green and a blue for a 3/4 Vigilance Elf Noble. And he has Secret Council, which if you don't know what Secret Council, I guess apparently it can take a lot of different forms, but In his form, it's whenever he enters or attacks, each player secretly votes for a player. Those votes are revealed. Each player draws a card for each vote they received, and then each player who received no votes may put a permanent card from their hand onto the battlefield. So I saw this guy and I thought, man, the gameplay is going to be hilarious. It's going to be fun. It's either going to be absolutely busted, depending on the play group you're playing with. In my case, us. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But also, I think there's a lot of potential for some really fun, unique combos. Just with whenever you can play something for free, or whenever you're just drawing a lot of cards because people don't want you to play stuff for free, I think that's pretty interesting. So I came in with not a lot of cards in here, to be honest with you, but I had an idea or two, and I wanted to hear you guys' take on them, and just kind of get some advice for how to move forward, if that sounds okay.
Go for it.
Okay. First things first, Isochron Scepter with one of the various instant spells that allows me to flicker my Cirdan. I think that's an interesting combo I want to try to get out there. I don't know a lot about Isochron Scepter, but I saw it's kind of like the staple for being able to recast instants or sorceries, right? Or I think it's just instants. Yeah, instants. So I don't know what you guys think about that take with the Cirdan entering the battlefield and the voting stuff, but I think it would be a lot of fun to like say, I don't know, we're on turn 10, I have plenty of mana, and I have some way to just, I don't know, untap, retap Isochron Scepter, cast Teferi's Time Twist, or not Ghostly Flicker, but something like Teferi's Time Twist over and over again. I think that could be fun, but I don't know. Thoughts on recasting instants with that spell?
I mean, you're only going to be able to do it once a turn unless you figure out a way to untap it, which there's plenty of ways to untap.
Sure. One card I thought might work well is called Double Major. It's a green and a blue for an instant. It says copy target creature you control, except it isn't legendary if the spell's legendary. I thought that could be kind of fun to try with Isochron Scepter. If I could constantly just copy Cirdan over and over.
That is really funny.
I think that could be, I mean, imagine like you have 6 Cerdans. Oh, you guys are probably going to remove him before that happens, but imagine I have 3 of him. And just even all of them entering at one point or another, and then all of them attacking. I just think that would be a lot of fun, don't you?
Yeah, I think trying to make copies of him so you just get a ton of votes would be really funny. I don't know. I feel like if we're voting a ton, everyone's just going to figure out a system that's best. Like, I can't imagine it takes us too many votes to figure out, like, all right, here's how everyone votes. 1, 2, 3, vote, and everyone's just going to draw a card.
Here's what I think, though. I think one way that I can get around that is through either punishing people. So one card I put in here, I know it says it's a game changer. I didn't realize that when I put it in here. It's Narset, Parter of Veils. You guys probably know this one because you bought it for me when we built Runo. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. So stuff like that, and then also payoffs from my own ability to draw multiple cards on a turn. I think I put in here, it's called Min Wily Illusionist. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you get some value. And I think those kind of things might make it a little bit more of a gray area how you're going to vote.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might be interesting.
You're definitely going to have to really play into that. Because to me, like, my thought is I would talk to the other, like, if you played this card, I would just be like, hey, everyone here at the table, let's all vote for Bear. Sure, he draws 3 cards, but we all get to slam a permanent for free.
Sure.
Like,
yeah,
let's see
if I drew 3 cards and then I got a bunch of value. And if he has all those free
cards, let's all swing our creatures at him so that he can't get enough so that 3 cards isn't enough value.
Sure.
That would be my thought. Is like you'd really have to make it so that we weren't just like biting the bullet, because like knowing that you would try to gamify this, I think if I saw this happening at any table, I would just be like, guys, let's all team up on him.
Interesting.
Like, there's too much shenanigans going on. Kill him.
That's fair.
I think 2 things that will make that a little different is your illusion of choice instant.
I like that.
If you
card.
can find a way to keep sending that down somehow. It's an instant. You'd need to find a way to recur it. But
I have one.
The other thing is I would also worry about decking yourself because, once again, like Bjorn is saying, if we all decide you're going to draw 3 cards every time he enters, you've got 33 turns, and that will go down.
I don't know a
each time
single
you get
game
to
I've
it.
ever played where we've gotten to 33 turns. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you have 33 times of him entering.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you more than likely I wouldn't deck myself before turn 20. On average,
Well,
I don't think you guys would all. I don't know. Maybe you would all vote
this
for
is
me, but
assuming that you're copying him and getting multiple procs a turn.
that's true.
Like,
But you also
I
you may start voting for me, and then all of a sudden, you have Ren over here putting down a Galta for free, and then you're like, oh, maybe we can't.
which he will be swinging at the person with 15 cards.
Well,
in there.
you don't know that he's trying to win. He wants to do the intro, right, Ren?
I would never swing at the person with 15 cards. I would be always swinging at the Simic player.
Okay, well, anyways.
Yes. Oh, hey, that's going to be the same person.
All right,
That's
well then
always the
that's
same
why I
person.
have Stormtide Leviathan and Hullbreaker Horror in here, because I knew you guys wouldn't see the light of my plans. So, anyways, I also wanted to ask your guys' opinion on playing into Elf synergy. I don't know much about Elf cards. I know there's plenty of them. Do you think it's even worth my time to look down that route, or do you think that kind of goes away from the whole idea of the gambling on a ship kind of vibe?
Wait, do you want this to be like ship themed?
It's kind of gonna be ship themed. I guess I wrote that in my little idea share, but if you look closely, I have a lot of ocean themed stuff.
Oceanographic.
Yes, right. My great fear of
Okay, yeah,
the deep waters. I have a number of things, and the vibe I'm getting is this is an elf noble who's gambling away his life on this ship. I don't know the lore. I'm probably butchering this, but
Oh gosh.
and he's gambling, and I enjoy the idea that we are all on a ship gambling, and then depending on the outcome, I'm either just really good at gambling, or a giant fish is just going to come out and swallow us all. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of a theme I'm into right now. But what do you think about elves and just that archetype in general? I don't know much about them.
I think you have some required reading called the Silmarillion.
Okay.
Please don't talk to me until you have read that.
Okay, I will.
Elves are, I think, especially if you're in green and blue, you have so much access to them. I think that you're not going to have a hard time finding elves that could fit into this theme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd want it. Like, it's super easy to just turn a deck with elves in it into an elf deck that is just an elf deck.
Yeah.
I think you could also look into like pirates. You could look into you're in the merfolk color, so you could find a lot of merfolk. Like there's other ship and oceany creatures as well
Sure.
that you could do.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you run Runo.
That's
There's
true.
no shortage of leviathans and krakens and whatnot,
Yeah.
fish. Like there, you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
I think if you're wanting to go more that creative route, like you're just gonna have to spend a lot of time on Scryfall looking through stuff, basically.
Sure.
But I think you could do a lot. I like that you have Jace Cunning Castaway in here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I thought it kind of fit the theme. And, I'm trying to draw. If my main thing that I'm trying to figure out, and I guess you guys can help me if you can think of any cards, but just pay off for drawing cards, because I'm foreseeing that at some point or another, I will get voted for, someone else will get voted for. Whoever gets voted
It's
for.
such a Simic player thing to say, guys. I need to get value when I draw cards.
I'm trying to
I need to get
deck,
something out of all this card draw that
I'm trying to make the deck good. I want this to play well and to be fun. Where if I am just drawing a ton, maybe I am generating something. That's why I put Min in there. But I don't know a lot of those cards, and Scryfall is hard. Do you know any other than Fairy Mastermind?
Well, all right. Just a couple things for your deck. Mind over Matter might be something you look at. It allows you to untap artifacts if you discard a card.
That is
so
a
if you do your
$40
Isochron
card.
Scepter,
Holy cow!
I mean, you have a lot of money in your things already, but it would allow you to untap your Isochron Scepter constantly.
Yeah.
Corridor Monitor also allows you to do that. It allows you to untap when it enters. So if you have, because what's your two things that you have? Ghostly Flicker.
Yep.
You exile.
I don't think I can,
Monitor
because it has to
and
be a mana value
Cirdan.
2 or less.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
but Teferi's Time Twist, there's Illusion of Choice would be an interesting one to do. Double Major would be a lot of fun to just copy over and over again. And then I have a lot of recursion, so I can get it back if I lose it or whatever. Or not a lot. I have a few recursion pieces, but
So there's some things to do with your draw.
yeah,
all your
that's really
extra
cool.
draw.
What do you think about Unwinding Clock?
You don't have enough artifacts
That's
for
true.
that to work.
That's true.
I
Good
think.
point. That's what I thought too.
But that's all I wanted to say, Ren. So all you, man.
So elves. I think you saw elves, and you have Elvish Piper, which was was going to be my first recommendation. Why don't you just kind of go into the stacking the deck or the house always wins kind of version of gambling,
Yeah.
where like you've got a book theme, you've got a deck theme, where it's just like, well, I'm just going to pay 1 mana and drop down this creature anyway. If you guys are gonna vote for me, so I can't drop down creatures,
Sure.
you're gonna draw me into things that just let me tap and draw creatures or
Yeah.
drop creatures down.
That's fair. I like that. I put
There's
omniscience in here
cards
for
like
that reason. I think I figured that's an overkill kind of card, but I saw it and I liked it.
yeah, a bit, but that's like up the idea. You could do like Kona Rescue Beastie or Kana. That's from Duskmorn.
Oh,
You
yeah,
could
yeah. I
do.
remember that one.
There's, I believe, the court, the green court, not Court of Garenberg, but the mono green court, Court of Bounty,
Court of
lets
Bounty.
you. It makes you the monarch, and you can put a land down at the beginning of your upkeep. But if you're the monarch, you can just put a permanent down.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a mono green book that does the same thing. I believe Yasharn Wandering Bard does the same thing. Maybe it's Yasharn's Harp that like searches for something.
Yeah, that's really helpful. No, those are great. I like the. Oh, that's a game changer as well. I got to be careful here. I'm going to start. This deck is about to get really over the top. But I do appreciate. I think that would be an interesting way just to cheat out permanents and stuff, so that even if I'm not getting to cheat them out through the voting process, there's still a few ways to get that payoff. For some high cost things. Do any of you know some really high cost things that would be fun to put in here that you can think of, other than my two choices, which I know you all hate already?
Yes, the pride of the whole clad. So let me
Oh
get this
yeah.
one to you. It's 10 mana and 1 green for a legendary crocodile elk turtle. Cost X less to cast, where X is the total toughness of creatures you control. It's a 2/15 defender, and you can pay 2 and blue until end of turn. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw cards equal to its toughness
Whoa.
and can attack as though it didn't have
Is
defender.
this legal?
Yes.
Oh, whoa. The art just looks interesting on it. That's kind of cool. Whoa. Any other thoughts before I pass it on? I feel like I'm in a good spot. I'm just going to look into stacking my deck a little bit.
I have a couple. Just sorry, I've been looking at cards that kind of fell into that. You get value for when you draw cards. So one that I came up with or thought of was Nadir Kraken.
Yeah.
It's a 2/3 Kraken.
Yeah, it's a good
And
one.
whenever you draw a card, you can pay 1 and put a 1/1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token.
Yeah.
So it's draw cards themed. You'll get a nice big creature that you can swing with, and also it is ocean themed.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then the other one that I found was Alondra Sky Dreamer. She's a merfolk, oceans. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. And when you draw your fifth card each turn, Alondra, Sky Dreamer, and Drakes you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Whoa.
So that would be one where, like, now all of a sudden you really don't want to let Bear draw all of his cards because he's going to kill us all with his board of Drakes he's made.
Yeah. I probably need a few no maximum hand size things, huh?
No, you probably won't need to hold on to those cards anyway. So
Okay.
you just keep the best ones anyway. I found the book I was talking about. It's called Monster Manual.
Oh.
Monster Manual is an artifact for 4, and it's pay 1 and a green tap. You can put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Whoa.
And Chasm Skulker
Yes.
is a card that gets bigger when you draw cards.
That's true.
And then it makes squids.
I do
It
know
makes
that
squids
card.
when it dies.
That is a good card. This has been super helpful. I appreciate it. I feel like I've taken a lot of your guys' time though, so I won't take much more. But...
We're right at 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Let's see. Declan, you want to go next, or do you want to be the closer?
No, we'll let you be the closer.
Alrighty.
I'm excited to talk about yours in a little bit. My deck is called Kitty Cats.
Oh boy.
It is nothing but cats. It is Celestia. The commander is Kutzil, Malamet Exemplar. It is 1 green white. Your opponents cannot cast spells during your turn. Whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So the idea is, I'm not like my theme is I'm not allowing myself to have a creature that's not a cat, and then it's just lots of little anthems, trying to make sure they're pumped up a little bit more, and just swing because it's a beatdown deck. I got a couple cards in here. I have one game changer. I have aura shards, which is a fourth of the cost of the entire deck at this point.
Shouldn't be a game changer.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I don't know if it should be a game changer, but I just have lots of cats. I think I have 20 something creatures on here. 23 creatures.
Wow.
All of them are cats. I have a lot of removal because I hate having to play against Ren, and I feel like removal is the best way to stop that from happening. I have 37 lands to make sure that I always struggle with lands, and not having enough of those. So I'm only at 88 cards though, so I do need 12 more to kind of fill it out. And I'd love your guys' input on it.
37 lands
I
isn't
go-
enough.
Oh, yeah, we need,
Can I go
two
first?
more. We need 2 more.
So you said you have nothing but kitty cats. Archetype of courage, enchantment creature, human soldier. So we're just lying.
no,
today.
where?
Oh, top left anthem.
An anthem.
Oh no!
It's okay.
So we're
you
just
can
lying
leave
today.
it. It's okay. It's an enchantment creature.
I'm removing it.
Oh no.
I don't see any of the Arabos.
Any of the what?
Arabo is the Eminence commander that is a green-white cat that pumps up other cats.
Yes, I did look at that. I wasn't sure.
Do it.
I mean, he's just in the 99, so he's not even. You're not even taking advantage of Eminence. So
Why don't you just play him? Why don't you play him as your command?
yeah, just put him in. I mean, yeah, you can.
Not to plug another channel, but I did watch a video recently about Eminence.
Redacted.
Redacted.
We're going to redact whoever it is. They don't get free
the-
sponsorship.
Exactly. The channel did make a good case for him actually being a solid Eminence commander. It's not a crazy payoff, but it does kind of fit within a theme. You get one cat to get 3/3 a turn, and so that's kind of neat. But
The YouTuber he's talking about, by the way, Salubrious Snail. That was a good video.
I'm gonna
yes,
bleep
Salubrious
that.
Oh,
Snail.
yeah.
We're a fan of Salubrious Snail over here.
I am. I'm a snail stan.
I guess my question is, unless Ren still has more, my question was going to be, what's your kind of end game here? Other than, so you have Beatdown, you have Anthem, which is great. I don't know if like every deck needs a finisher, but what's kind of your like end goal other than just make tons of cats? Or if that is the goal, that's great. I love it.
Well, for a time it was going to be that enchantment creature that I didn't realize was it gave everything first strike.
Oh yeah.
Really it's just pumping, and then I have damning verdict on here,
Whoa,
so
watch the
that
language
way
there. Hold up. Sorry.
I can destroy creatures with no counters. A lot of these just give what's it called? They just give 1/1 or
counters.
2/2. But some of these also get to put counters on them, and those are the ones that will kind of like Armageddon. It's a board wipe. But the idea is I hold on to that till I have like a good use for them.
Yeah.
And then the alternate win con that I've been toying
I
with.
see
but
it.
didn't want to. Do you see it?
I do see it. That's incredible.
What do you see? in here?
Felidar Sovereign, Vigilance, Lifelink. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win the game. That's
So
awesome. It's a cat.
I was wondering if that's going to be okay, because it feels, it's commander. 40 or more life is not hard, especially because a lot of these guys have lifelink. Or like Kemba's Skyguard, I gain 2 life. Healer of the Pride, I gain 2 life.
Oh, man, wow. This is gonna be. I don't know.
I don't mind it. It's a 6-drop, and it's at the beginning of your upkeep.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
like by the time you're putting out, especially since you only have 37 lands, it's gonna be like turn 10 by the time you play a 6 drop. Um, no, but like
I love it.
yeah, it's a 6 drop and we all get a turn to respond to it and a turn to swing at you. Like that's the other thing. Because
Yeah,
it's specifically life, like we can also just try to deal damage to you to keep you under 40.
This is good. I'm
exactly.
liking that you're also a target here because then I can maybe get away with not getting voted for a bunch. So this is good.
The
Yeah.
last one that I haven't put in here that I considered, but also I felt like probably was not cool, was definitely Aetherflux Reservoir.
Oh yeah.
Have you thought about Triumph of the Hordes?
Yeah, I have, but
Bring it back.
I hate Infect.
That's what everybody says until they get bit by the infect bug. It spreads like that.
I've
And
been
also
bit
I
by
find
the
it
infect
pretty
bug a
cheap.
lot, and I never enjoyed it.
I guess you're just a nerd then. I have two recommendations that I searched your list pretty carefully for.
Uh-huh.
And, a Johnny's Chosen. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white cat creature token. If it's an aura, you may attach it to the token. Basically, you make 2/2 cats when you cast enchantments, and it's a cat soldier. And then the other one is Felidar Retreat, which is an enchantment that makes cats on landfall or buffs things up. Felidar Retreat. It's like Felidar Sovereign, but it's just
Oh,
Retreat.
okay.
It's crazy to be that that Bjorn has more problems with me playing Armageddon in a Selesnya deck than he has with you playing an insta win card.
It's not insta win. At least he's ending the game. He's breaking parity.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm breaking parity and your lands. Like, I don't understand. Man.
Okay, so I have a couple like specific card suggestions and then kind of some goofy thoughts, but also like, okay, I have a couple things. So first off, I really do actually think you probably want to play more lands.
Okay.
You also or more ramp. You only have 6 pieces of ramp. Um, the like yeah, I would buff that up. You have the space to add. You have 14 cards to add into your deck. Like 2 lands and a couple more mana signets or a couple more ramp spells, I think you'll be good. Um, but the second thing, Acrobatic Leap, love that. Great flavor card. Gerard's Command, though, not sure why it's in here. I think I would just replace that with, it says untap target creature. It gets +3/+3 until end of turn. I would just replace that with an Anthem that gives Vigilance if you really want your creatures to be able to block.
I like
Just
that.
because, I don't know. Third suggestion, 9 lives should be in here. 9 lives should be in every cat stand.
Oh,
9 lives, if you don't know, says basically if you what is it? If you take damage instead, put a counter on 9 lives, and then when it has 9 counters on it, you lose the game. But it's a cat card, and it has a ton of cats on it. So
that is true. That is perfect. I definitely needed that. Thank you.
no
That is
problem.
perfect.
And then fourth suggestion.
Ooh.
This one's more just silly. I was looking for cards that had cat on it. I didn't look for cat creature types. I looked for cards that had cat in somewhere in the name. Unfortunately, you're not in red because there's a lot of like catastrophes and catapults, which would have been really funny.
That is funny.
But they're all red. But one that actually did catch my eye that I mean, I don't think it's great. I just think it'd be kind of dumb. Like, I don't know. It could be kind of funny, but the keyword fabricate or fabricat, as I would call it, actually kind of fits your theme because it's basically like Angel of Invention has fabricate 2, or sorry, fabricat 2. When it enters, put 2/1/1 counters on it, or create 2/1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens, and then it says other creatures you control get +1/+1. So you could just be annoying and just make a bunch of cat puns.
I
Which
feel like if
I feel like
do
that would be on
that,
theme.
Ren will just bully me for having a non-cat in my deck again.
Yeah, but cat puns. He probably will.
I love it.
But it does also actually like. I mean, I know it's not a cat, so I get it. It does actually somewhat fit because it's automatically creatures that are going to have power or toughness greater than their base power. Like
That is true.
that creature I recommended, Angel of Invention, will be a. It'll be a. It'll enter as a 4/3 with Flying Vigilance Lifelink. So you're going to get a card off of it, and it's also an Anthem that'll buff your other creatures. So there's just a couple cards with Fabricate on them that could actually be decent, but I get it. And then there's also Asika's Chariot. It's not a creature; it's a vehicle, and when it enters, it creates 2 green cats. And then whenever it attacks, you can create a token that's a copy of target token, so you can make more cats with it.
Oh,
So
that's perfect.
yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
So those are all of my recommendations, just like rapid speed.
those are good. I
I love
I
it.
have one. It's called Adorable Kitten. It's for 1, and it's a host creature cat. When the creature enters the battlefield, you roll a 6-sided dice or die, and you gain life equal to the result. I think it's a great addition here.
Now, this is definitely a normal set
Definitely
and definitely
legal. Yep. Yep. I tend to give recommendations that are maybe borderline sometimes, but I think it's a good one.
if we're willing to rule zero it, that is, I would love
I think
that.
it's an adorable card, and I would be totally fine if it ended up popping out onto the battlefield. But I guess I have a question for you though too. There's a lot of Ajani cards, and I don't think I see any in your deck right now. I may be just missing them, but there's a lot of green, white, or just white Ajani cards.
Yeah.
A lot of planeswalkers, but also some pretty decent like sorceries and enchantments. Any thought on including any of those, and why or why not have you done that yet? Because I'm curious.
Um, I hadn't thought to put those ones in there necessarily. A lot of Ajani are just white, and I'm already kind of heavy on white,
Sure.
so I hadn't
There's
pushed
one that
that
I
one
think
too
is really
strong.
funny, a Johnny Mentor of Heroes, if you're interested. You get to put 1/1 counters on people for one of the +1s. The other +1, you can look at the top 4 and reveal or a creature or planeswalker, put them in your hand. And the -8 is you gain 100 life. So, I mean, that could be kind of a fun win con style cards. 3, a green, and a white for a 4 health planeswalker or whatever, 4 loyalty. So, I don't know. That might be fun.
Okay, I'll be
Um,
looking at some of Johnny stuff.
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
lot of green
help.
white in there.
I know you just said you were really heavy in white, but Helpful Hunter. It's just a 1/1 cat for 2, and when it enters, you draw a card, which is actually like not bad. And if you're gonna have anthems, like you might end up like that might just end up being like a 4/4 for 2 that draws you a card when it comes in. It's nothing great, but it's a good card. It's cute. It's just a little cat holding a feather in its mouth. Very
Oh,
adorable.
that is
Oh,
nice.
he's going in there for sure.
Okay, last suggestion, then I'm
Go for
done
it.
and I'm shutting up. Okay, here's a thought. You put all of the Ajani planeswalkers in here, all of them, all the green and white ones, all the white ones. There's some fun combos here with these emblems. Some of them are put X11 counters on them where X is your life total. There's multiple. So if you can get your life total up to 100, you could just play like crazy Ajani Cats vibes and just you're buffing the crap out of your cats, man. This is so cool. And then you just need to put a proliferate package in and you're good.
So I do just want to like kind of just ask really quick. Um, like what is your goal? I mean when we so like we were talking about like when we make these decks, the idea is that we're kind of trying new themes or whatnot, or decks that we haven't ever built before, with the intent that like we might actually build this, unless Bear doesn't want to spend the money, which is fine. Like that's not the point, but like we want to build decks that we actually want to play. So I'm curious, like what is it about this deck that makes you want to play it? And then if I could maybe offer just some advice based off of some of my own experience with something similar to what you're doing.
Yeah. So once again, you guys, I've been really enjoying listening to you guys build these decks, and so I have never built Celestia. I've never built a green. Um, like I had a hackball deck given to me for Christmas one year, but I've never gone out of my way to build a green deck. And I got a Gruul deck from Ren a couple years back. And so green and white are my 2 colors that I don't play a lot. I play a lot of
A lot of
Xander.
Grixis.
Grixis is kind of my where I'm comfortable. So this one was out of my wheelhouse, and I just randomly came up on um, this Kutzil exemplar, and I just thought this is kind of neat. It's not a crazy powerful commander, but it seems like it. I like the fact that it locks down my turn. My turn is my turn. No one else is playing on me.
As a
And
Grixis player,
as a Grixis player,
you know the dangers.
that would just make me so irate, and so I thought that's perfect. That's exactly the opposite of what I play, and then I have a cat. I have a cat named Mr. Tibbs, and I thought Mr. Tibbs would be proud of this deck. And so I don't know. I don't make very many tribals, and nor Celestia, so I thought this would be fun.
Actually, sorry, I just thought of this when you were talking about the first ability on Kutzil is your opponent can't cast spells during your turn.
Mhm.
You should just put in a bunch of really nasty big sorceries and enchantments because you know they won't get countered. Um, but I know you already have some like Collective Blessing. That just came to me. Anyway, what I've run into when I've tried putting these kinds of restrictions on myself before. I built an Alesha deck, and originally when I built it, I was like, I'm not going to have a single human in here because I already have a Mardu human tribal deck, and so I was like, I'm going to build Alesha with no humans. Um, and it just kind of wasn't very fun. I didn't like I built it around the restriction, and then there was just so many cards. Where I was like, oh, but it'd be fun if that card was in here. Oh, I really like that card. It'd be cool if it was in here. Um, I've tried building. Oh man, what is the other one that I've tried building? I've tried building a couple decks where I put very similar restrictions. Like I'm going to do this, but it's not going to have any of this thing or in it, or it's only going to be that thing. And what I've kind of found is that like to me personally, what I value more is a deck that runs efficiently and consistently. And it's like not like ultra powerful. All my decks are bracket 2 or 3. But more so like if I'm making a choice to keep a card out that I know I could easily access and that I know would work well and make the deck just more efficient, not even necessarily more powerful, but just like more consistent, it really bugs me not to put it in there. And it bugs me when a deck doesn't run to its full potential being, bracket 2 or 3. And so I'm just kind of curious, like, is that going to bug you, like leaving certain cards out that would just objectively be really good in a deck that aren't a cat? Um, is that going to bother you if the deck doesn't run quite as cleanly or as efficiently as it could, if you were to include a couple creatures or spells that aren't cat themed?
Not necessarily in the future, but I think for the sake of what we're doing here, yes, because I really told myself, okay, for this, you are going to make a cat deck.
Okay.
And so for this, yes, I think in the future, because right now it's only $127, which
Mhm.
I don't know, that actually seems pretty
I think
reasonable.
once you add all the Ajani planeswalkers, it's gonna be like maybe
No,
190.
I've already I've added
Mhm.
2 already,
Oh,
and
perfect.
the rest of
Yes.
them are not crazy expensive.
I love it.
Um, just deciding which ones I want to put in. They are actually, I think one's $5
Ooh,
is the
the spendy one.
expensive one I want to put in. Yeah, so
Mhm.
really this is a deck I could see myself building and upgrading in paper in the future, which would be kind of fun.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's what matters then. We have got to move on. I will try to give a real quick synopsis of my deck because I can ramble. All right, so I also am building a Selesnya deck. We're building 3 Selesnya decks this week,
Oh
not
my
planned. I
goodness.
had mine shared first, so I get to I get to take credit for it. Anyway, um, so my deck originally was based off of 2 different ideas. Basically, I keep suggesting playing white catch-up ramp to people, and I keep suggesting playing green land enchantments rather than playing more lands or land
Yeah, I
ramp.
noticed that.
And so I kind of thought I should take my own advice, and then I was like, it'd be kind of funny to combine the 2 ideas, like play lands that tap for 2 or 3 mana and then enchant them, and just have like try to have like as few lands as possible, and then make them tap for a bunch of mana. So that was where I originally started. I found this commander that I really liked for it in Selesnya. I've also never built a Selesnya deck. That was the other reason I wanted to do this. As that was on my list of decks that I wanted to build for this podcast was just any Selesnya deck, and I was like, this is white and green. It's perfect. So I found this commander, Yenna, Red Tooth Regent. She's a 4/4 for 2 white and a green, and she has 2 tap. Choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. If the token is an aura, untap Yenna Red Tooth Regent, then scry 2. Activate only as a sorcery. So I actually, as I started building this, I started realizing I actually just really like Yenna as a commander anyway. I think she's just really fun. I think the idea of playing a bunch of auras, like nothing crazy strong, but just playing auras that give general value when they enter, um, or when they're on multiple creatures, I think would be fun. And just making copies, untapping Yenna. I just think it sounded actually kind of fun. And so I still want to go into my catch up ramp and my land enchantments theme. I just think I'm not going to try to like min max it as hard as I was originally planning. And there's an issue with that I'll talk about in a little bit. But so I think I'm just going to kind of try to build like a nice Selesnya Auras deck. based around like kind of smaller creatures. I don't want to run Voltron and buff one creature up. I want to have a bunch of littler creatures that give me little bits of value. So like I feel like Knight of the White Orchid is the poster child for this card. It's a 2/2 first strike for 2 mana. And when it enters, if an opponent controls more land than me, I can search my library for a plains and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Or just onto the battlefield, not even tapped. And so it's just like, it's a cheap creature. It's got good stats. It's got first strike and it's got catch up ramp. Like it would be a good aura target. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. And then, yeah, that's what I've got so far.
I like it.
What are you guys' thoughts so far?
So I have some thoughts. How is this going to be any different from the Auras decks that I believe you were playing last time I played Magic with you?
Oh, are you talking about my Irena Curse deck?
Yeah,
Oh,
you've got your Curses
this
deck,
is
you've
way
got your
different.
Kermit deck. It
No,
sounds
my
like you'll be
Curses-
running a lot of similar cards.
That these are not at all the same. My Curses deck did not quite do what it was supposed to. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to talk about it too much because I might bring it on the podcast later. And also, it's just kind of a fun surprise deck, and you didn't get to see the surprise last time we played. So this is not going to be the same. That's true. Declan has got to see the surprise. It's fun. This is not the same. This is definitely more of like that one. That one's curses. That one's mess with your opponents. That one is like goading. That one's definitely just kind of like trying to be like just goofy and annoying. It's got a pillow fort sub theme. This one is definitely more. This one's like a pretty well, not a pretty. It's a mid-range deck. Like this is just sort of a beater deck. I want to play some creatures. I want to slap some auras on them and swing. But I don't want it to be Voltron, and I don't want it to just be playing like I don't know. I can't think of. Ancestral Mask, and now I have a 30/30 that I'm swinging at you. I want it to just be a bunch of like mid-sized guys that swing out. I want to keep it very mid-range.
I dig it.
So-
I actually really appreciate the attempt to go with 18 lands. That's kind of fun to me. And I think I like the style of having all these utility lands in here and just having some that tap for more, some that do other things, and then getting your mana fix from those enchantments. It's cool. Are you at all worried about hitting your color fixing at all? And if not, should you maybe consider it? Because a lot of your utility lands tap for colorless. Most of them don't, which is fine. But there's a number of them in here that I feel like
I am going to add more lands. I don't think 18 is way too few.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, I know. I think it would be good. Like I have been throwing that idea around of like how many lands do I want to play? And that's actually I'd really like to hear your guys' thoughts because part of me feels like try to keep as few lands in the deck as possible, but part of me also feels like I want to have a lot of lands. I just don't want to have to use them.
Yeah.
And I want to be okay. Like I want to be okay to sacrifice lands. I have some cards in here that let me sacrifice lands to do things. I do have some lands that like I think it's Lotus Veil. When it enters, you sacrifice 2 lands. Lotus Field does the same thing. It enters and you sacrifice 2 lands. So like I want to actually be able to use my lands as a resource as well.
Sure.
It's not like that I don't only want to play 4 lands the whole game. It's that I just want to be okay going down to 4 lands.
Yeah.
And I want my other thing is like if I have a piece of catch-up ramp in my hand, I want to be able to play it. There's actually not a ton of catch-up ramp cards that I could find. But like I just like if I have a Knight of the White Orchid, I want to get that card from it. If I have Cartographer's Hawk out, like I want to go search for the land to get it. So
Yeah. No, that's good. I like it.
I will be running more than 18
Yeah,
lands.
I
sadly.
was just a little worried that your early game, if it's not the perfect starting hand, was going to be a little challenging to get any traction going. I think once you get the lands out and you get an enchantment on 1 or 2, you're going to be great. Like it's going to be totally good. I was also curious. I know you're going to have a number of lands here. I was looking at your planeswalkers. Is this kind of your strategy for turning this interesting deck into like something viable for smacking down something like Kitty Cats or Yasharn?
No. Nope. All 3 of those planeswalkers have an ability. Actually, well, Nissa, who shakes the world, makes lands tap for extra mana.
Yes.
So on theme. And then that was the only reason I added her. And then Nissa Genesis Mage and Garrick Wildspeaker both have an uptick to untap lands.
Okay.
And so that's another thing that I want to do is like, if I have a land that taps for 6 mana, I want to be able to untap that land.
I like it.
You know, I want to untap and tap and untap and tap and be able to generate all the mana I need. And that's kind of how I was going about like min-maxing, getting as much mana as possible.
Limited resources has me concerned.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that was my only thing. I love it
This
though.
Not
Bright
just
red
limited
border.
resources. It's limited resources you know that I enjoy destroying.
Yeah. Yeah.
This bright red border makes me concerned.
Oh.
I actually was so bummed to find out that I thought that one was so funny. I was bummed to find out it's banned. I get why it's banned. I felt like this deck clearly breaks parity on land destruction, which is why I kind of wanted to put some land destruction in it. So I don't think I'll actually run this card, but I kept it in here because I think it's so funny. So when it comes into play, each player chooses 5 lands he or she controls and sacrifices the rest. And as long as there are 10 or more lands in play, players can play lands. I just like that because like I love the idea of capping my opponents at 5 mana while I potentially or less, because that could happen. And then I have, lands that I can tap for 30 mana or something. I think that sounds funny.
Capping your opponents, more like kneecapping us. Jeez,
Yes, exactly. Well, then I would win the game. That's the goal. Is I won't actually keep them in here. I was just looking for cards that either destroyed lands or let me sacrifice lands. And so that's the same with balance. There's another one that's basically the same. Each player chooses a number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. I thought that was really funny as well, but also banned. Sad day.
That one's more. I understand that one a little bit more. There's more parity there. I think that one's a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why this one's banned, to be honest. Like outside of just that it would make people lose a bunch of lands and it's 2 mana. I don't think that one's terrible because inherently it's just going to end up with everyone having the same board. But I guess if people don't like land destruction, that's fine. I get it.
People do not like land destruction.
I will be preparing to absolutely counterspell a land. That's my new thing.
I have a question. So when I cast Armageddon or Tranquility and just destroy your entire game plan, how are you going to build back up from that?
I don't think I will. Like I really like slowly, I guess. That's yeah. I want to have some protection. I know that there's a couple of cards that give my just permanent. It just is like permanents you control have hexproof, or permanents you control get indestructible until end of turn. Stuff like that. I did find a couple of cards to try to save that because yeah, if you strip mine my land, I am in big trouble. So
That's a card that I add to Yasharn.
I've been adding land destruction while you guys are talking. I hope you know that.
Yeah. Target enchantment.
Yeah.
Target my end. Yeah.
I mean, well, that's the thing. Like, it's just in theory, this could be pretty decent. Like, you could just produce a lot of mana, and people should have a way to interact with that. And if my deck has that weakness where, like, an enchantment board wipe just kills it, like, it's a bracket 2 deck, except for that it has a lot of land destruction. But it's a bracket 2 deck for the most part. Like, I'm not super. I mean, I am concerned about it. I want to build in stuff to protect it, but like also, if that happens, it happens. I will live, and life will go on.
Oh, I found a great card. Looking at mine. Sorry, keep going.
You're supposed to be helping me with my deck.
I know.
Powder building it.
I found one that
okay.
destroys all enchantments. That's perfect. I love this.
I mean, Tranquility.
Back to nature.
That's a staple in my. Tranquility buries all enchantments in play.
Ooh,
So
okay, putting that in.
that's it's 4 mana. It's Armageddon for enchantments.
This is great.
We have about 3 minutes left. Is there any like big things you guys want to add?
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Sideboard, those 3 cards, are those going in or are those maybe on the chopping block?
Those were actually just other cards I was considering as commander when I was like I had these cards were all in the command zone originally, so these were just alternate commanders. They might go in the deck. Actually, Yasharn won because Ren's playing it, but also it's just normal ramp. It just searches for lands, and I don't want to do that. I think that's same with Karametra. Yeah, when you cast a creature spell, search for a land. Like I don't think I'll do that. Sigarda Font of Blessings, as well as some of the other Sigarda cards. Actually, they all might go in here. One, they're angels, so they have flying, and they're automatically going to be good aura targets. But Sigarda Font of Blessings specifically is other permanents you control have hexproof, so really nice for protecting my lands and enchantments. Um, and then there's like two or three other Sigarda angels as well that do some variation of that, of giving my stuff hexproof or indestructible or some sort of just protection. So the Sigarda one, as well as maybe a couple other Sigardas, will probably find their way into this deck.
I have a thing that I kind of don't want to point out right now because I think it'd be funny if you get to the game and you're like, oh, wait a second.
No, point it out. You can laugh at
All
me
of
all
your
you want.
lands are, none of them are plains or forests, so you can't search for them with catch-up ramp.
I'm gonna add plains and forests, don't you worry.
Yay.
They'll be going in there. I don't know what the balance should be. I'm actually kind of scared about having I don't know how I'm gonna figure out like that feels like one that I'm just gonna have to feel out as I play, and that this deck's actually gonna need play tested a lot before it's well constructed.
I think you just get rid of everything other than Lotus Field, and then you just put in like 10 of each or 12 of each.
I did, and this is gonna have to be closing because we're almost done. So Lotus Field, $10. Enters tapped, sacrifice 2 lands, and then it adds 3 mana of one color. That one I could see actually getting. The problem is that the other 2 cards that really fit into this theme of like lands that keep my land count low and tap for extra mana, there's really only about 3 cards that do that. And so Lotus Field is the one that's affordable and like normal. But then there's Scorched Ruins, which is $55. When it comes into play, sacrifice 2 untapped lands, and then it adds 4 mana to my mana pool. And then Lotus Veil, when it comes in, sacrifice 2 untapped lands, and then adds 3. And that one's $40. I'm kind of torn. I don't typically like to proxy cards, but these are like probably the first cards that I've seen that I've really like considered, like thought like I would proxy that if I actually built this deck out. I would definitely not. I would not buy either of these cards. They just seem very gimmicky. I do think that they could maybe be powerful if you built around them in other ways. Like I could maybe see how they could be abused, and why that price tag might be high. I do also think they just haven't been reprinted in a while. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts would be on that. And our play group doesn't really play proxies. I don't know that we've ever really talked about why. I'm guessing we all just kind of have our own reasons. But
They're evil.
None of us care, I don't think. I mean,
would
I
you
fall
think?
into the I don't care attitude. My younger brother and I always play with proxies just because we're not about to buy a mana vault for CDH. Yeah, I just don't care about it, but I don't do it because I'm more creative, and I think that the good cards you want to proxy are oftentimes not worth it.
See, that's typically like I tend to agree with that. That there's like a better, cheaper option to find, but these cards just seem very niche. Like that's kind of why like that has really come up.
They
Is
just
like
don't enter tapped is the only difference. Lotus Field and Lotus Veil are the same except for tapping.
mhm.
So you have
Which is
access.
why I think that's why they're so expensive. Is that they could actually
Yeah.
be kind of busted.
And they're old. And that's the thing. Like the older cards, they tend to be harder to get and more
Mhm.
expensive for that reason. So proxying is you're playing with your friends. It's totally fine. We're
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
all building smart people decks. That doesn't mean we also have the budget that, the Tolarian
That
community
Bear has.
Yep. So I honestly, my whole hope with I do really want to do this in one of the following weeks is a budget deck build, but
Yeah.
no,
That might
I'm fine with it.
Trinket Mage put out a video a while ago. I think it was at least a couple months ago, where it was like, yeah, like if you're playing Magic, one of the first things you should proxy is like the alpha or the beta lands or whatever they're called,
The
like
dual
the
lands.
bayous,
Yeah.
all those dual lands. Just because, proxy them. Don't spend $500 on a land. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just a land.
It's a piece of cardboard.
So yeah, for lands especially, like I just can't be bothered to care about your lands. Like I have bigger things to worry about in my life.
name 5.
My 9 to 5 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 4. And then making time to show up to this podcast is a 5th thing. And all of those are more important to me
Agreed.
than
Okay.
your basic lands being
Did you hear
called
that, guys?
by you.
We're more important to him.
Oh, that's good. I like it. Well,
I said showing up here.
very
All right.
very fun.
I think that's where we got to end it. Declan, thank you for joining us. It's been a blast.
We'll see you next week.
We'll hopefully see you on here again soon. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we will definitely see you on here again soon because we'll be play testing these decks next week. All right.
Looking forward to it.
We'll see you guys then. Declan, if you win, I guess you get to choose who does the intro the following week, but you won't win.
Oh, no. I'm just going to record the intro and then I'll dib.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right. Well, I have been your host and still champion, Bjorn. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Bye.